Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron, and getting ready for week 3 as the Chargers are looking to jump in the win column for the first time this year as they travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, who are also 0-2. And it's always weird, guys, for me when you sit and you make your predictions like we did a few weeks ago going into the season, win-loss, win-loss. I picked the Vikings to win their division. Like I was saying, this is by far the best team, and maybe a team that's on the move are the Lions, but it's a little too soon for the Lions to make their move. Not a fan of the Packers, not a fan of the Bears in that division, but I thought the Vikings had kind of a cakewalk. I did the same thing in baseball this year when I thought the easiest team to pick was the St. Louis Cardinals cruising to finish in first place, and then they bombed. Are the Vikings or the Chargers on pace in your mind to be the team that will be the disappointing team, or do they both bounce back?
I think the Chargers are more likely to bounce back. I have more faith in Justin Herbert than Kirk Cousins. I don't think that Vikings team is very good. I don't think they have the talent the Chargers do. They have the best receiver in the league. I don't think that's even an argument right now. Justin Jefferson is a freak, and we're going to talk about how the Chargers are going to try to contain him. But they just traded for Cam Akers because their running game is not good. They have Alex Madison hasn't stepped up the way that they would hope. Cam Akers, nobody really knows how good he is. I think there's a lot of question marks with the Vikings. And not saying there's not a lot with the Chargers too, but you're more hopeful with the Chargers because we have more talent across the board.
Yeah, kind of tale of the same tape a little bit, like both teams, talented offenses, a lot of talented players on the offense. Justin Jefferson, obviously, for them. Chargers, you can, play name game forever with them. And then defenses that really struggle, right? Like they brought in Brian Flores this offseason, and you kind of thought, wow, this defense is going to turn around. I thought so. That did have more of a chip on his shoulder, and turns out, as long as you have a pulse and can run downhill, you can catch a pass and score a touchdown against them. So they're not that strong of a defense. They're a strong offense. It's going to be an exciting game. I'm with you, Josh. I think the Chargers have the edge in it just because, like you said, Herbert, I think we have a little bit more weapons on offensively than they do. And I think defensively we have a little more playmakers. But your playmakers have to play. So that's a big thing for the Chargers that we tend to not get.
It's interesting because, as you both said, and I agree with you, the talent on both sides of the ball is insane. Really, two of the more talented rosters in the NFL as far as skill guys go. And even people that goof on Kirk Cousins, and, we say it all the time, he doesn't win primetime games and playoff games, and he's not that next-level quarterback. But if you play fantasy football or you watch him on Sunday, Kirk Cousins' numbers are always ridiculous. He's very consistent at being very good. I'd say he's a solid B-plus quarterback. But in the games that really matter, if you're a fan of the Vikings, you're frustrated that he doesn't take to that next level of Super Bowls and winning Super Bowls. The Vikings are a lot like the Chargers, like you guys are saying, and I understand the Charger fan base will be devastated if they fall to 0-3. We kind of touched on it briefly last week. The Vikings are the state's team. It is a big deal in that area. It's one thing for the Chargers to lose, and sports fans in Southern California is like, well, Lakers season starts in a couple weeks. You start moving on in your head to what's next. USC football is doing well, and Deion Sanders and Colorado is going to play the Trojans. You start going always what's next. But in Minnesota, they live for Viking football, and it is devastating for the whole state. You fall to 0-3, and so because of that, you're hearing panic mode already, which blows my mind to even think that you would trade Justin Jefferson at this point of his career. He was everybody's basically first pick in the entire fantasy football draft, and now you're hearing rumors Cousins could be gone and Jefferson can be gone, and the Vikings tear the whole thing down. Can the Chargers be the reason the Vikings think, all right, it's time to start making moves right now?
I think there's a huge difference between being 1-2 and 0-3. If you're 0-3, it's panic button immediately. I think 1-2 is definitely a hole you can dig yourself out of and justify, we're on the come up. But 0-3, man, it does not look good, especially in a division where Jordan Love looks like he could be the real deal. The Lions aren't bad. Bears probably the worst team in the league. Sorry, Mario. But right there, you're dealing with two teams that are not terrible. I think if that's the situation, you're 0-3, maybe you do look to move on from Justin Jefferson. It's a crazy thought. I don't think any Vikings fans would want to do that. But you look at the defense, and it is horrible. You have two guys that are recognizable. You have Donnell Hunter and you have Harrison Smith, and you have a bunch of just guys on that team. It's a really, really, really bad defense. As a Chargers fan, I think we should expect to put up at least 40 points. I'm not even kidding. 40 points. That's how bad that defense is. But moving over to Justin Jefferson, I think you would like to trade him or maybe see what you can get in return. Draft picks, defensive picks. And if you want to keep Justin Jefferson, trade Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's proven anything at this point in his career that he can win when it matters.
See, I'm the total opposite. I think you stick it out no matter what. You go 0-3, which I expect them to do. I think you stay with it. Like that division, yeah, it's Jordan Love's looking to start and turn a corner. Lions aren't like a slouch of a team, but this division, weird things happen. And even if you're 0-3, you can still sit there and convince yourself, like, all right, we've faced the Panthers after that. Then we're home against Kansas City. Maybe at home, we're able to get something going and maybe upset Kansas City before Kansas City can really figure out in the year. Then we play the Bears, who suck. So, you could kind of still convince yourself that something's there. And I think when you look at the vision, it's like we're never out until we're completely out. We're not out until the fat lady sings, and the fat lady's just is still asleep. So I think that's the way they'll kind of look at it is like, even though we're 0-3, this division's so bad, we can still dominate the division. You have 2 guaranteed wins against the Bears. You can focus on splitting with the Lions. You can focus on splitting with the Packers, and maybe find yourself in a pretty fancy spot to be in the playoffs somehow in some way. Let's not forget Justin Jefferson single-handedly won them a game against the Bills last year. Who says he can't do that again against a pretty dominant team? But like you said, Josh, this defense, I mean, I expect the Chargers to drop at least 30 points. I mean, they currently allow 27 points per game. Joshua Kelly, big game for him. Hopefully, they're 29th against the run in the league, 18th in yards per rush attempt. And that's something that I could see it come more exposed, and hopefully they can expose. But at the same time, I don't know about you, Dave, but I would love to see him exposure in the passing game.
Everything you just said to benefit the Chargers, I guarantee in Minnesota this week, they're saying the exact thing back about the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, exactly. Like, I haven't looked at any point spreads at all. I understand it's a game in Minnesota. Literally, it should be about an even game. I mean, this is a game I wouldn't touch. Could go either way. But both teams, I would say a lot of it is mirror images of each other. Like, if you were breaking down the Chargers from the Minnesota side, you'd almost sound exactly what Mario just said about the Vikings. I expect the Chargers to score this amount of points, and I expect this guy to do this. The one thing is Justin Jefferson's the best, offensive player on the field this week. I mean, that's what's crazy. And they've had 10 days to prepare. And the last game Justin Jefferson played was an embarrassing game for him on a national, TV audience game. For the Chargers, are they unraveling? I mean, we saw Staley kind of freak out a little bit. At the same time, you look at O'Connell, who's the head coach, second year with the Vikes, who used to be with the Rams also, and he gets Cam Akers. It bothers me that I didn't think Vikings Cam Akers, thinking there's a connection there, that O'Connell knows him and knows exactly what he can do and how quick he can adjust, and he's supposed to play. But not just guessing, Mario. I'm guessing one of the teams one way or another. I'm gonna go Vikings are favored by a point in this game, not knowing what the spread is.
You're exactly right. Vikings
Really?
are a point. Yeah, so it started off Chargers were favored. Then the Lions changed a lot. And then when I was working this morning on BetQL Daily that you can check out anywhere you get your podcast, the Chargers Vikings was a part of this big part of the show today. Everyone picked Vikings. And then there's another show I was doing. A lot of people were picking Vikings. So I'm not saying Chargers are like this huge underdog, but like a lot of people are really leaning towards Vikings to win this matchup.
I don't know, man. Is that because they think Austin Eckler is not going to play? Is that the assumption here that Austin Eckler is not going to be a part of this game?
I think it's the Eckler, and then it's the Bosa's questionable, Max questionable, but he practiced today. Eric Kendrick's questionable. I think a lot of people just like after the Titans loss, a lot of people lost faith in the Chargers. Like a lot of people are selling stock. Like they're just it's rush to whatever you do at a stock market, sell it.
Oh, we got to sell Brandon Staley if they lose. I mean, that has to be the thing that happens in this game. You go 0-3, you got to get rid of Brandon Staley. Everybody in the comments on YouTube is saying the same thing. I looked up the over-under for passing yards for both quarterbacks. You guys have any guess at all what it is for Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert? Who has more? Who's expected to throw for more yards?
I'm going to go.
I said Kirk Cousins. I'll go Cousins.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cousins too.
Cousins, 293.5, which is crazy. Justin Herbert, 284.5. It's supposed to be a huge passing yards game, which I would definitely think so too. The Chargers cannot stop the pass, and neither can the Vikings. Jordan Addison, for me as a Charger fan, is the X factor here. You know what you're going to get out of Justin Jefferson. Even if you do a really good job on Justin Jefferson, he's probably going to have like 70 yards and a touchdown. He does it every single game. Jordan Addison's a guy got to slow down. TJ Hawkinson, one of the more underrated tight ends in the league, is pretty damn good. For the Chargers, what do you think, Mario? Who would you like to get involved in this game plan? Who would you like to see?
I mean, it'd be nice if we see a Mike Williams game and a Mike Williams 50-50 ball in the end zone, but I think just going off history and everything, I think it's going to be a big Keenan Allen game. If I had to guess, his current over-under is 72.5. I'm going over that 9 times out of 10. I think it's just something that they're going to be able to expose really, really quickly. If you look at the Vikings too, a lot of people would say, like, if you look at just the stats, like, the secondary is the strong side on their defense. If you think that, just remember that they faced Baker Mayfield, and after that, the Eagles quickly left their passing game when they realized DeAndre Swift could just whip it out, put it on the table, and the Vikings couldn't do anything about it. So as soon as they found that out, they kind of abandoned the passing game and just went into that all day long, ground and pound, and then Baker Mayfield in the first week. So if you think that secondary is strong, I tell you right now, that secondary is not strong. I expect that Herbert Allen connection. It's not like a hot take or anything, but I expect that connection to kind of pop off.
No, so I agree exactly with everything he just said. That's exactly how I would have answered the question, Josh, if he asked me first. You'd like to think Mike Williams, but in reality, it's going to be Keenan Allen that I think is going to be the star. We brought up the point 2 days ago about Quentin Johnson getting the rookie involved because he is the one wide receiver, those rookie wide receivers in the first round that haven't had a chance to showcase his talents. And we all know how it works, right? If you're an OC, everybody's complaining, when's it my turn? We're going into week 3, when's it my turn? You go into week 4, and it's been kind of determined of which direction you're going. It causes problems in the locker room, especially when you aren't winning. It's easy as a coach to say, we're 2-0, be a team player. But, hey, we're 0-2, and I'm not getting my touches. I guarantee you Mike Williams isn't happy with the way things are going. I guarantee you Quentin Johnson. But at the same time, he's a rookie. But he's looking around the NFL. He does what we do. He's looking at the guys that were drafted around him, right? You listen to St. Brown, who does it all the time for the Lions, who talks about the 11 guys taken in front of him. He has them memorized, and that's the way it is, man. That's what good athletes do, man. You're competitive with the people that were taken around you and people that thought you weren't good enough. The Chargers, if they win, you shouldn't hear anything. If you lose, all those guys have every right to sit there and complain and go, when's it my turn and what about me?
I don't think the Chargers have many of those guys. I think that's what
maybe that's the problem.
Maybe that is the problem. We talked about Justin Herbert. People are saying you guys are crazy for wanting Justin Herbert to speak out. We're not saying Justin Herbert should throw anybody under the bus, but you'd like him to say, hey, we should be better than this. As a fan, that's all I want to hear. We should be better than this. Talking about Joe Lombardi last season, he said, we're just doing fine. You're not doing fine. It's horrible. It's hard to watch. It's not a good offense. We're not doing fine. Why would you say that? Just don't say anything. Why would you have to give him kudos? He doesn't deserve any kudos. It's nuts. There's a couple things I saw about Justin Herbert this week because he is like the talk of the NFL. Like, what the hell is going on with him? I'm asking this question, Mar. You tell me if it's a good or a bad thing. Justin Herbert has made the smallest percentage of turnover-worthy plays in the NFL at just 1.1% after 2 weeks. Before you answer, people think, wow, that's great. He doesn't turn the ball over, and it is a good thing. You don't want your quarterback to turn the ball over. I feel like he is not trying to stick the ball into these small windows when I watch these games. I feel like he throws a lot of balls away.
Yeah, first off, it's always great, like you said, that you take care of the football, right? That's number one thing. Don't turn over the football. Don't give the other team second chances. Don't give them opportunities to expose you and hurt you. Herbert doesn't do that. The problem with that is to your point, you need a risk taker. You need tight window throws. You need all right, you know what? Let's get dicey with it. It's okay to not be so conservative. It's okay not to be so, uptight and go, well, if nothing's there, it's a quick throwaway. That's fine to throw it in a tight window. It's fine to kind of throw maybe a ball that, well, let's see, or throw someone open. I'm not saying you do arm punts like Josh Allen, but I'm saying it's okay to take a little bit of risks. And I think that's the thing that hurts with Justin Herbert. It's like, dude, it's okay to make a risk. You're not going anywhere. There's no one behind you that we're going to put back in. You're not going anywhere. You're Jesus. You're literally our second coming of Jesus. You are okay. Take your risk. Do what you want to do. Just help us win this game. I think that's something, we always mention is kind of running and how we wish he would scramble more. Maybe that's also part of Herbert's game we want to see improve too. Dude, do a little bit more risk taking out there. Take a couple risks.
I don't look at Justin Herbert as I'm upset with his play. When we talk about him running the ball, I just think it's an added bonus of something that he has that he hasn't used. Maybe, again, he's told not to do it. I mean, the Bears told Justin Fields not to do it. So with Herbert, it's his play that doesn't bother me. I mean, they're putting up points. I mean, we ask a quarterback to put up points to take care of the ball. He's doing all that, right? There aren't any turnovers. My issue with Herbert, and this is where people get upset, I want him to show he's the leader. I want him to call guys out when things aren't going well. How many games in a row, Josh, has this team lost? 4 games in a row that they've lost. And I want to see him get upset. He's the face of the franchise, like we spoke about the other day. There's a great line from Larry Bird, and I know Josh isn't caught up on winning time with the Lakers Celtics series, but I'm going to use the line now. There's a line Larry Bird used in '84 when they got beat by the Lakers in Game 1, and they was asked, "What does this team need?" And he looked right at his teammates and he said, 12 heart transplants. That's what this team needs. And I would love for Justin Herbert to call guys out. What does this team need? Why are you 0-3? This team needs 22 heart transplants. There's an issue on this team as far as the heart and effort. Some of these guys.
Where's that guy from, really quick, Josh?
French Lick, Indiana.
Yeah, go on.
That's where winners are built. Him and Zach Randolph.
Yeah.
See, I think the Chargers' main issue, and everybody agrees with this, is the head coach. The Titans showed you how valuable a head coach could be in the NFL. I think in other sports like Major League Baseball, the head coach or the manager is not that valuable compared to the NFL. NBA maybe a little bit more valuable, not as valuable compared to the NFL. There's so many decisions that are made, and we know this as football fans, that come down to the coach's decision. We're going to call a timeout here. We're going to run the ball here. We're going to throw the ball here. So many things lie on the coach's shoulders. The Chargers got beat last week, not because the Titans were more talented, but because of they have a better coach. Mike Vrabel is so much of a better coach than the Chargers. The problem is on the defense. Mario put in the stats in our rundown. Chargers are, and I can't find it right when I need it. The Chargers are 11th in passing offense, 5th in rushing offense, 6th in yards per play. The problem is not the offense, and I'm not complaining that the problem is the offense. We're saying that we want Justin Herbert to hold his teammates accountable, talk to guys on the sideline, but we also want the coaching to change. I don't think the Chargers can win with Brandon Staley as the head coach, and that's why I said about the Vikings going 0-3. Dude, even if the Vikings don't get rid of the guys on their team, they're not going to win in the playoffs with that defense. That's why I'd say you should bring on new talent. It's an argument now that you could say the 3 best teams in the NFL are in the NFC, right? You go the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. The Vikings have no chance of beating any of those teams with their defense. The Chargers can win this game and go 1-2, but Brandon Staley's still the problem. He's still there, even if we win this game. I think the Chargers need to move on from somebody like that if they have any real chance.
It's a bad Band-Aid that's going to come off in 2 seconds if they win this game. It's just like, it's congratulations, you won this game. You got your first win this season, but there's still a lot of issues, still a lot of scarring, still a lot of things going on. Like you said, like this Chargers defense, dead last in opponent yards per play, dead last in passing yards allowed, 15 against the run. Should be lower. Thank you to the Dolphins for not running it as much, even though I had pretty good success on yards per play every time they ran the ball. Question for you guys. Is this a game where Staley can get out coached by O'Connell? Like, is that a possibility? Because O'Connell's not a bad coach. Like, he's not a bad offensive mind. And that's like another thing that worries me. Like, are we going to go back-to-back weeks of where Staley gets out coached? Because to me, that's not out of the realm.
You want me to answer this question?
I'm just going to say here why Mario told more jokes. You got any more jokes? Yeah.
Go.
I mean,
you go first.
I'm going to go first. I'm just going to leave it real quick. I'll answer this in 2 seconds. There are 2 kinds of coaches in this league. Okay. They're the coaches that are the masterminds, and there are the coaches that have heart and get you to run through a wall. Vrabel's not a mastermind. You can see to run through a wall. He does a lot with less because those guys believe in him and he makes them believe in themselves. That's what he is. Herm Edwards was a motivator too. Not saying Herm Edwards was a great coach at all, but he wasn't a mastermind. There's certain guys, like in Miami, there's a mastermind there. In San Francisco, I think you have a combination of both. You have a coach that gets you to believe in yourself and gets the most out of you, but also he's an offensive genius. Sean McVay does the same thing. I don't know if Staley's either one.
Okay. I got a name for you right here. Puka Nacua. Did anybody know who that was before the season?
No.
Sean McVay did. You know what I mean? That's the difference right there. Sean McVay will get the most out of the guys you don't even know about. The Chargers get the least out of the guys that everybody knows about. To answer your question, 100%, Mario, he can get out coached this weekend because he does it all the time. The last 3 games leading back to the playoffs, he has been out coached. Why would I believe that it's not going to happen this weekend? I think Kevin O'Connell's a good coach. They won a lot of 1-score games last year, something the Chargers do not do lately. Here's a stat for you too. Justin Herbert, they love to put on the TV. He leads game-winning drives, and I love that about him, but he hasn't done it recently. What have you done for me lately? Since 2021, Justin Herbert has gotten the ball 20 times when down by 1 score in either overtime or less than 4 minutes remaining in regulation. He's converted 10 out of those 20 times. That's not bad, but he hasn't done it the last 3 times. And that's what we care about as fans. I think absolutely Kevin O'Connell could outcoach Brandon Staley because it happens all the time.
I think that's my biggest worry going into this game too. Is it's like, let's be honest, it's going to be a tight game, right? Like, if look at what Vegas is saying, it's going to be a 1-point game. That's what they have it as. It came out
Could be
I
a
believe,
last
at
possession
first.
game.
Yeah, very much last possession game. And the fact of the matter is we've had 2 close games the past 2 weeks, and we have not came out on top. And we've had situations to win the game. We have not came out on top. This is very much a situation where we go in week 3. It's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to someone has a ball with under 2 minutes left, with 3 timeouts, 2 timeouts, no timeouts, and they're going to have to win the game. Kirk Cousins is not on Monday Night Football. Kirk Cousins is not on Sunday Night Football. He's not on Thursday Night Football. That's bad. That's when he blows it. When will Herbert, let's be honest, not blow it? He's blown it the past 2 weeks. He hasn't played strong the past 2 weeks. So it's one of those things that kind of worries me in this matchup. I do think the Chargers win this game, but you can't tell me it doesn't worry a little bit that this will be another close game. And how can we put 100% trust that Herbert's going to win this? In the past 2 weeks, he has not done that. Not saying it's all on him. It's not all on him, but a little falls on his shoulders.
A lot does. A lot does. I mean, come on. 2 weeks ago, you're at home. The kicker on the Dolphins sets it up where you need a field goal to win, not even to tie the game. And you're going, look at all the timeouts. This is going to play out perfectly for the Chargers. Justin Herbert's going to be the hero. Week 1, Chargers are going to eke out a win against the Dolphins. He didn't, right? You look at him against the Titans. I mean, right away, you knew that the Chargers were playing for the tie and not playing to win that game in regulation. And he blew it. He didn't come through. What happened again in going back to Jacksonville? I understand the defense stunk all the way through, but where was the quarterback to add more points? You're right. I mean, he deserves to be called out. What is he? Do we have a Kirk Cousins on our team? Maybe we do.
Oh.
We might have a better-looking Kirk Cousins.
Better-looking Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a pretty good-looking guy. You know,
I'm
to go in that direction.
Mario compliments him in his hair all the time.
Oh, okay.
If Justin Herbert cut his hair, I'm pretty sure Mario would cut his hair.
No. This is all I got. Herbert's got 200+ million in the bank. Your boy has.
All I got.
This is all I got. Play the hits.
Kirk Cousins broke an NFL record last year. The Vikings had 11 one-score wins. It's record. I think everything is pointing to the direction of this is going to be a close game that comes down to the end. Chargers playing a ton of close games. Really, a lot of NFL games come down to the end, but the Chargers playing a lot of close games. The Vikings playing a lot of close games. The difference is the Vikings have not won those games this year, and the Chargers haven't either. So that's going to be something has to give in this game. Mario, the biggest issue to me, even bigger than Brandon Staley, to be honest with you, is Austin Eckler. I mean, how hurt is he? He didn't practice again today. We're recording on Thursday. Do you think it's a long-term injury? Do you think he'll be back soon? Have you heard anything?
I feel like it's like the Allen hamstring injury we had last year, where it's just every week you're like, maybe it's this week. And you're like, nope, not this week. Maybe it's next week. And, we get to that point where, all right, maybe it's after a bye. Maybe that's that point is after the bye he comes back. But, I mean, spending this whole week not practicing is definitely not a good sign. If we were sitting here going, all right, he practiced yesterday, didn't today because he was sore or anything like that, I'd sit better. But the fact that he's not in, especially against a team that really, really can't do anything against the run, it's hurtful. It doesn't feel good, and it's not pretty, and it's not great. If he doesn't play for, there's no shot I think he plays this weekend. I think he's gonna play against the Raiders. If I had to take a guess, I bet he plays against the Raiders because it's based on how this weekend go. Raiders could be a very much do or die game.
Yeah, I'm not expecting him to play. I mean, I might have crossed the line in the last show, so I don't want to say a lot more, but I'm not expecting him to play. You know?
Didn't get attacked very much about that.
I didn't. I was shocked by that. Like, I literally thought I was going to have to apologize to start the show today. But I think I did. I did cross the line, I think, when you call out any athlete, because, who are you to sit there and judge someone else's pain? In reality, what's the injury? It's an ankle injury, right? Tie your shoes a little bit tighter and tape up. That's how I look at it. Let's go. Okay. Get your ass out on the field. Charger fans are dying here. I mean, let's be honest. You fall to 0-3, it's going to hurt a lot. So get your ass out on the field. Let's go and tape it up. A high school kid could tape your ankle up. You don't even need the best of the best. And just tie your shoes tight. Let's go. I tell you to take anything illegal. Just get your ass out on the field.
Somebody did get mad at you for telling him to take a shot. They got upset with you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's been going on in the NFL for 75 years. Sorry.
Yeah. Nick Chubb should have got back out there, huh, Dave?
No,
a big
Nick
deal.
Chubb, 100.
Yeah.
That's an injury. Now that's an injury.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't see that from Eckler. I just saw him limping off the field.
Well, the Chargers know. Yeah, the Chargers know really what's going on. What are you gonna say, Mario? What's up?
No, I was just gonna say Dave was looking at Joe Theismann and be like, dude, I mean,
Yeah,
put
what are you
some
doing?
dirt on
Your
it.
right
Yeah.
arm's fine. Your right arm's
Yeah.
fine. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Taylor doesn't hit hard.
Yeah, Alex Smith has another leg.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they didn't get the cart for Eckler when he got hurt.
Oh, Bo Jackson didn't look like he was that badly hurt either, but ended his
No.
career.
That's true. It stopped blood flow to his hip. I was at that game. Yeah.
Well, the Chargers know obviously more than everybody what's going on. Would you like them to sign, Kareem Hunt or trade for Cam Akers?
no.
I think they got a box of candy for Cam Akers. It was nothing. It didn't cost anything.
Nothing. No, I don't need the Chargers to make a move. Sorry, Mario. I don't need the Chargers to make a move. What I'm saying is the team's a much better team when Eckler's on the field. The deal is if Eckler didn't go through what he's gone through the last 8 months of complaining and talk about how valuable the position is, and then all of a sudden a lot of guys on the list that are complaining don't seem like they're exactly available all of a sudden, you kind of wonder, is this a conspiracy thing? That's it's very, very strange. I mean, I agree. Saquon Barkley is injured. Okay, he's going to be out for the next couple weeks. Niners are going to run right over the Giants today, even if he was there or not. Got it. I am literally would bet the house that Josh Jacobs is about to suffer the same kind of injury that Austin Eckler has. He's going to do the same damn thing. At some point in the season, Josh Jacobs is going to disappear too.
So going back, I don't think the Chargers shouldn't made like a Cam Akers move or anything like that unless Eckler was like, I'm, until week 8, I'm back, or like week 10 later on. Then I'm like, all right, they need to make a move. I don't think I would have to look back on. I mean, Jacobs did play in the preseason last year, so maybe. But I think this is just a wear and tear thing. I mean, he played so many games in a row, so many games of so many snaps of so many miles, where I just think it was just adding up. But I think it's going to really hurt the Chargers in this game of him not being there. Like that's a very scary, scary thing.
Yeah.
Every game he's not there hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most valuable guy on the team besides Justin Herbert. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Derwin James up there.
Yeah. Derwin James, yeah.
Derwin James just balling with a defense that's horrible. It's kind of weird. I don't know. The whole thing's weird.
He dominated me in Madden yesterday.
He did?
Me in Madden. Yeah.
I want to give somebody credit.
Twice, yeah.
I don't give people enough credit on the show. Jamari Sawyer, I swear to God, is one of the best guards in the league. Has anybody noticed this? The dude is balling. He played tackle last year. He's playing guard this year. Seamless transition. The guy looks great. It's one of the bright spots on the team. I think we have two good guards when we run the ball. Zion Johnson's pass blocking. I don't know what the hell happened there. But running the ball, dude, I like it. I think it's something the Chargers haven't had for like 10 years. So I want to give him kudos. Jamari Sawyer looks great.
There you go. Said something nice there. See?
Yeah.
It's not all negative.
My therapist said I should do that more.
All right, you want to get to the games? Go ahead.
Before that, I want to bring up one more thing about the Vikings. I want your opinions on it. We talked about the close games. We talked about how it's 1 point score game. One thing, and give me like out of 10 of how important it is. No one has turned over the ball more than the Vikings this year. 7 turnovers in 2 games.
Wow.
Out of the 7 turnovers, 6 of them were fumbles, and then 1 was an interception. How much does that kind of play in you guys' favor of going, that takes a little bit of ease off and going, they shoot themselves in the foot. They hurt themselves a lot more than the Chargers do. By the way, they own this record of most turnovers for the first 2 games by a fat margin.
I think it's a big deal. To Kirk Cousins, to me, unfortunately for him, when I think of him, he doesn't care about my opinion, but when I think of Kirk Cousins, I think of turnovers. Seriously, Kirk Cousins to me is a turnover and touchdown machine. He's kind of like Jameis Winston. It's a big deal, especially if we're going to get into the backfield like we did last game. Thule looks like the second coming of God, like DeMarcus Ware out there. So if he can get back there, I'd love for him to cause a couple fumbles. I think it's a huge deal.
Yeah, for me as a football fan, fumbles bother me a lot. You know what I mean? There's no excuse to me. You know you're about to get hit. At the same time, you're always told to protect the ball from the day you started playing. Interceptions happen, all of them, right? Even Tom Brady throws interceptions. But the fact that when guys fumble, that one is a fan, it's like, how? Why does this happen? The only time a fumble is acceptable to me, and I'm not even sure it is, let's say a defensive back picks a ball off and he's running back and guy hits it from behind and knocks it out. But otherwise, for a running back or receiver or tight end to fumble, That's not all right. That drives you a little crazy.
No one looks
You know?
worse fumbling than Kirk Cousins too.
Yeah.
He's a bad fumbler.
He
You
is.
know, like just
It's funny when I think of Kirk Cousins. Two things stand out in my mind. One is where he was with Washington and he did you like that? That makes me laugh every time. But the other one is that dumb quarterback show that Josh got me to watch with Kirk Cousins, where he's sitting in the backyard enjoying family time, and a little piece of fire comes and lands on his sweatshirt, and it burns a hole in it, and he's all bummed out because that's his favorite sweatshirt. I'm like, dude, you have like $200 million. Like, stop crying in the backyard. Your kids are watching. What are you doing? Just go ahead, burn through my sweatshirt. Cameras are off. Then you say to your wife, that was my favorite sweatshirt that night. You're throwing it in the trash. But holy cow, man. Go get us some graham crackers. Yeah. Come on. What are we doing here?
Or his great thing of when he was I think this was 2018. Yeah, it had to be 18. He was breaking it down and he was in Soldier Field and he was like, they flexed the game for us because we're that good. Threw 3 picks that game. Just got dominated. Not for you.
There you go. All right, let's pick the games. Let's get to the fun part.
All right, picking the games.
Who's
slate.
leading league-wide for the year? Do you have the yearly totals? Like who's leading? Josh had the big week last week.
Josh won last week. Dave, you sucked last week.
Yeah, but I think I was good in week 1. Wasn't that
better?
better?
You were good in week 1. Let me go back and check. God, I didn't put any names down for that. So no, Josh went 6. All right, this is gonna have to be a Sunday thing.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll have the totals next week. It's all right. It's all right. I know you're busy. Derwin James is beating the crap out of you on Madden. It's all right.
Yeah, look, Derwin James has ruined my past 24 hours, picking me off twice. If you guys would have guessed my Xbox player name too, it's a pretty funny name, but can't say it on air. All right, let's go ahead and start with Thursday Night Football. I'll make sure to write the names down. Giants traveled to San Francisco with the fans that seem to love the fight. Niners minus 10.5 point favorite. No Saquon Barkley for the Giants, and their left tackle, I believe, is also out, and they have other injuries on their O-line. So what are we doing? Dave, we can start with you.
I'll go first. This one's easy for me. I'm going Niners. If I was a gambler, I was allowed to gamble. It would be the Niners. I think the Giants have been absolutely terrible. What they've played 8 quarters this year, 6 of them awful, and at the same time, you're missing big time players that are very important to that offense, an offense that doesn't move very well. I think the Niners clean up.
Yeah, I'm with Dave. 10.5 seems kind of low to me, actually. I would have said it'd be closer to like 14. I think it's going to be a huge blowout. Good luck to Daniel Jones. Hope your mom's not watching tonight because you're going to get the crap beaten out of you.
Yeah, that guy's going to be running for his life. His rushing yards is over under, I think, 37.5. 37 or 39.5 is from what I saw. I would smack that because he's going to be on the run. 36.5 now. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. But yeah, I like the Niners too as well in this one. And poor Daniel Jones. Titans, Browns. Browns 3.5 point favorites against the Titans in Cleveland.
All right, I'll go first. I think the Titans cover. I think the Browns are a horrible team. I don't like Deshaun Watson as a person, as a quarterback. He's getting face mask penalties twice in a game, which is weird. No Nick Chubb. I like the Titans to cover.
I'm with Josh on that too. I like the Titans to cover as well. I don't think Cleveland's played as well as what they thought, but now that you don't have Chubb, I think it hurts even more. Going Titans.
No Chubb, no me. I'm out on this one as well. Deshaun Watson really, really sucks, and the hand on ref thing is still the craziest thing of all time. That he didn't get anything from that. At one point, the NFL's got to. I don't know. I mean, geez, Christ. Falcons, Lions. Lions are 3 point favorites versus the Falcons in Detroit. What do you think here, gentlemen?
It's only a 3 point, not 3.5.
Only 3 point. Yeah, I thought it was 3. I'm pretty sure it started at 3.5, but now it's 3.
I would bet this game. I'd go Lions. I'd bet this game. I'd go Lions.
Yeah, I go Lions too. I don't think the Falcons have the firepower, and I know Bijan Robinson looks great. I don't think Desmond Ridder can keep up with Jared Goff. The Lions put up so many points at home. I really don't think they can keep up with the Lions. I think the Lions cover.
Something about this Falcons team. I'm going them to cover. I don't think they win this game. I think they keep it close enough, and the Lions kind of bought out to make sure like they stay in the game. And Arthur Smith's literally turning that team into Tennessee Titans 2.0. It's literally his, which that just sucks for him because he's just gonna be begging for a quarterback for his whole career. Saints versus Packers. Packers 1.5-point favorites in Lambeau Field. Derek Carr, put on the eyeliner, baby. You're in Lambeau. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Josh.
Dude, I really don't know what to go on this one. I don't know what either team is. I like the Saints defense a lot. Alvin Kamara is not going to be back. It's hard to win at Lambeau. Derek Carr's a turnover machine. I guess I'm just going to go with the Packers.
All right, I'm going to go opposite, too, on this one. I wouldn't bet this game, but I'm going to go opposite as Josh. Just change it up. Carr is really disappointing. Like, all this stuff, I have something to prove, and I'm well prepared. And then you just see him just not look great. I'd say Carr is like that C+ quarterback. He's not a B, he's not an A, he's C+.
I have Packers here, like big time. I don't know why.
Big time.
That
Saints defense is really good.
Saints defense is really good, but I think Lambeau is going to get the Carr. I think Carr is going to start to freak out a little bit. Under game, big under game. This is going to be like a 17-14 type of deal. It's going to be terrible.
Those are the games the Saints play. That's what they've done the first 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, and again, Jordan Love's fine. I'll sit on my take where I don't think he's that good.
Okay.
We'll come back around every week to it, but I'm gonna double down. Broncos versus Dolphins. Dolphins 6.5-point favorites. This is one of my favorite bets of the day.
Is it really? Then you go first. I want to know why.
Dolphins -6.5. I think it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. The Broncos defense has not been good. I mean, this was not the defense that we saw last year that was literally keeping them in every single game. The offense just couldn't do anything. That's not them at all. Dolphins look like the best team in the AFC. They score nonstop. But defense is getting there. It's okay. Sean Payton and Russell Wilson are light years away from ever coming together and getting something done. It's in Miami. It's hot. You're not at Mile High. I loved it in the spot. There's nothing about Russell Wilson that makes me think he can go in there and cover.
It's a home opener for the Dolphins, right? Dolphins have started off the season on the road the first 2 games. Fans have to be excited. Miami's always one of those places you look in the crowd, you're like, you understand there's a pro team here. The thing is, the Broncos travel so well with their fan base, and they wear orange, so maybe it look like it's Dolphin fans that are there, even if anyway. But honestly, I think Miami, as we've talked about Miami a ton on how exciting they are. Russell Wilson has played better than I thought he would, considering what we saw last year. The only question mark for Miami right now, Jalen Waddle, still questionable. The concussion protocol, the whole deal. Don't know exactly if Waddle's going to play. Mario, since you're so sure, I'm going to go Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm in the same direction as Dave. I think the Dolphins win this game, but Jalen Waddle looks like he took a horrible hit to the head. Tyreek Hill has a questionable tag, even though it looks like he's going to play. I think the Dolphins win this game, but I think the Broncos cover.
All right, next one. Chargers. Wait, you want Broncos there or Dolphins?
Yeah, he went
Dolphins win, but Broncos cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he threw a spin at me. I was looking at you to wonder if you got that. He
it's
doing me, and then he dropped all of a sudden Broncos.
No, we're good. Yeah, college education kicked in there. You thought it was gone, but the diploma kicked in. Next one's Chargers Vikings.
Dude, Chargers Vikings last. Go
Chargers Vikings last. Got it. All right, so next one's New England Patriots, 2.5-point favorites against the Jets in New York. What do you guys think? It's also a play I really like. So go ahead.
I'll go fast. I think I'm going Patriots on this one. Jets haven't beat the Patriots in like 14 straight games. I'm going Patriots. I think Patriots are playing better than I thought. I think Zach Wilson is a complete bust. I mean, just a terrible situation the Jets have with the quarterback. And without a doubt, I'm going Patriots on this one.
I'm with Dave. Breece Hall is banged up. Give me Bill Belichick versus Zach Wilson all day long. I'm going Patriots.
3 for 3 and 1 Patriots too. The lowest total of all the Sunday too, and Monday and Thursday. 36.5. Yeah. It's gonna be an ugly game. Yeah. Zach Wilson 0-4 against the Pats, and his stats are terrifying. That's what you should be for Halloween if you want to scare people. Bills 6.5-point favorites against the Washington Commanders. Commanders, the surprising 2-0 team, yet they're 6.5-point underdogs at home. Josh, what do you think? Sam Howell, can he do it? Do you believe in miracles?
I don't know if he can do it, but I like the Commanders to cover. I think the Commanders aren't that bad, and they have a really good defensive line. The reason why I'm going with the Commanders to cover too is because they are good at things that the Bills are good at too. They're a real punch you in the face type of team, and I don't think the Bills will like that when they face a team that's as physical as them, as Dave hates when people say that. But seriously, I think the Commanders are a very, very physical team, and I don't think they're a team that's going to get blown out much this year. I think they keep it close and they cover.
Yeah, I'm going the opposite. I'm going Bills on this one. I think Josh Allen's too big of a difference. I'm going Bills. And Bills, I think, gained a lot of momentum from their impressive win over the Raiders last week.
I'm going with you, Josh. I think Commanders is a team that they're going to, like, play everyone close. You know? Like, kind of like the Lions, I guess, last year, where, like, it doesn't matter if they play the Texans or the Bills. Like, it's still a close game somehow. I think they can keep within 6.5 points. Actually, pretty talented defense and not a bad team. And Rivera's coaching for his life. Texans go to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is 8.5-point favorites against Texans. Jacksonville coming off a god-awful loss. Thanks for the loss in fantasy too, Trevor Lawrence. So 8.5 points. Dave, we'll start with you on this one. What do you think, AFC South rivals?
Going Jacksonville. Stroud's played better than I thought he would, but at the same time, it's Jacksonville. They're the team that's supposed to walk to win basically their division. Josh gave me really good advice this week in fantasy football where he said, if you get a chance, go ahead and take that Jacksonville defense over the Texans. I'm sure Josh will tell you exactly why, but I'm going Jacksonville.
Okay, so CJ Stroud has a hurt shoulder. Who the hell on their bingo board had CJ Stroud throwing the ball 47 times a game, by the way? What the hell's going on over there in Houston? Craziest thing in the world. The Jacksonville does get a ton of turnovers. If his shoulder's hurt and they already throw the ball 47 times a game, holy crap. I think this is the biggest blowout of the weekend. I like the Jaguars to cover.
I like the Jaguars to cover here too. Something that you mentioned that, Josh, CJ Stroud became like a popular bet to lead the league in passing yards because it was great odds and just because they're like, he's thrown the ball so much and it seems like
crazy.
So crazy. And the Texans are like, we're going to die by this. So we don't care. So, okay, you do you. Colts go to their old home. Get ready for this story, folks. Did you know that the Indianapolis Colts used to be the Baltimore Colts and they left in the middle of the night? Yep. Get this after they won the Super Bowl too. It's crazy. Crazy story. Can't wait for that film once again. But they face the Baltimore Ravens, 8.5-point favorites. And no AR for this game. I think Gardner Minshew's getting the start.
Go ahead, Josh. You go first.
Dude, this one's tough. I think the Ravens win, but the Colts keep it closer than that, and the Colts cover. Gardner Minshew has looked really good in the time he's played this year. Ravens are a good team, but they aren't a team that blows teams out that often. They keep things relatively close because they're extremely weird to bet on. I wouldn't recommend anybody to ever bet on the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Colts keep it close, but the Ravens win. Colts cover.
I'm sold on the Ravens this year right now, and the Colts have played much better as a team than I expected. I'm with Josh for the exact same reasons. I don't see a 2-score win, but I think Ravens win the game. Colts will cover.
Dude, I hate that I'm doing this. But
You're going Ravens? You never go Ravens. Yeah, never.
I no AR. Like, people think Minshew's this fantastic backup. We'll see against Baltimore. They have a lot of guys hurt, though, and that's the only thing that worries me. But, like, their offensive coordinator so far, like, looks like he's, like, kind of a genius. And, like, that receiving core is, like, getting a little thin, but Zay Flowers looks like he's a dog, and Colts have no secondary that I believe in.
Okay.
So, they're going to burn me. I know I'm getting burned.
They have your whole life. I don't know why you went Ravens on this. Why do you even bet the Ravens? I told you, stay away from the Falcons. It's for the same reason.
Because I think people like love the Minshew crap, and I'm like,
okay,
I'm gonna tease it. I'll tease it. I'll try to catch out and try to tease the game.
Okay.
Panthers go to Seattle. Seattle 6.5-point favorites. No Bryce Young in this game. The Red Demon, Andy Dalton's getting the start.
Dude, it is all Seattle. It's all Seattle. You can stop right there. It's Seattle.
It's all Seattle.
And Carolina is so bad. I feel, and I'm irritated for Bryce Young because I'm a Bryce Young fan. I mean, it looks like such a joke. Every time you see Bryce Young standing with NFL players, and he just looks like that tiny 7th grader who's just out to be captain for the day at practice, and then he leaves with his family. And I'm like, Bryce, you're so tiny. And now he's hurt in game 3. God, man, where's the durability? Seattle's going to kill the Panthers.
Dude, I'm the opposite of you on this. I don't know why. I have a feeling that, the Seahawks have a lot of injuries. I think the game is going to be closer than people think. Andy Dalton wants to prove that he could be a starter in this league. It's like another audition. It's like if you were like 90 yeah, it's like if you're 90 years if you're 90 years old and you're like, you know what, I want to get into the workforce. And that's Andy Dalton this weekend. I think the game's closer than people think. I just have a weird feeling.
They're like Robert De Niro just wants to prove he's a little young, so he impregnates a girl.
Yeah.
Is that what Robert De Niro did? Okay.
Yeah. So
Al Pacino did the same thing.
Yeah. So did Al.
Yeah.
Just watched The Heat, by the way, for the first time. Jeez. Al seems like he was on a lot of, I would say, uppers in between shoots for that. Speculation, but I'm just saying. All right. I'll take Seattle. I just think Panthers are sad. I hope this game just never on my TV. That's a sad game. This next game is going to be a sad game, and it's going to be a massacre. Also a game I've already bet. Chiefs 12.5-point favorites against the Bears. Bears are currently the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL, with things probably going to get worse in the next coming weeks. What do you guys think?
I want Mario to go first.
Yeah, you go ahead.
You live in Chicago.
Well, the press conference that Fields had obviously was not the best. I actually liked it. I actually was a fan of it. I thought he shouldn't have gone back what he said. He was just being honest in the moment. Then the DC just resigns randomly, and then they're trying to sweep that under the rug. So that's always good. That means definitely there's nothing suspicious going on. And then their left tackle's out for the whole season, and they have no one for left tackle. So the team sucks. I mean, it's just for Caleb Williams the next year. And the Chiefs are looking to turn a corner. They're completely healthy. They're going to massacre the Bears. It is going to look like the varsity team not playing the JV team, not playing the freshman team, playing the 7th grade team where there's 10 kids that have just learned how to play football and then get ran over on the first play. It is going to be a nightmare for Chicago. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, I wouldn't watch. You'd turn this game off probably at the end of the first quarter. Mahomes is literally going to be their father from 3:25 Central Time to 7:30 Central Time. It's daddy o'clock.
He gets to be their father an hour after the game?
An hour after the game.
He's gonna eat breakfast,
puts
put
him to
socks
sleep,
on, and then leave.
Yeah.
I'm with Mario. I think we always talk about the Phillip Rivers story, how he made Vontae Davis retire at halftime. It looks like the Chiefs made a guy quit on a midweek for a game, which is hilarious.
That's true. The DC's Mahomes, I quit.
Yeah, he turned on quarterback. He's like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Then hired an attorney.
Then hired an attorney. I think it's a huge blowout. I like everything Mario said. Chiefs cover.
I agree. This is one of those games. Unless you're a Chiefs fan, there's no reason to watch this game. I mean, a fantasy football fan. Also, there's another aspect in this thing too. The whole Kelsey Dayton, Taylor Swift, where he says, "I've been to your show and watched you fill out the stadium and see what kind of show you put on. It's time you come and watch me, and I'll show you what kind of show I put on in front of the crowd and see which part of the crowd gets louder." But so hell, this could be the Kelsey game just because he's trying to show off to his girlfriend. Look, anyone can do anything. I have a pretty good feeling that if any of us line up for the Chiefs, there's a good chance that we could score a touchdown in this game. I think it's going to be a long day for the Bears. Justin Fields, by the way, calling out the coaches, not exactly what I want into the media. You know what I'm saying? And then they do the BS thing today where they hug each other in front of the cameras. That's garbage. I mean, what are you doing? He said what he said, and he said it because he meant it. And guess what? He's probably right. But you don't need to share the dirty laundry to the media. You just say it behind closed doors.
The part that did piss me off, sorry to cut you off, Dave, is the
I'm done.
He said, "You guys try to twist my words." And it's like that's the part where I was like, dude, just say I misspoke. It's okay to say I misspoke. That's fine. They literally said what was wrong. I'm paraphrasing, but what was wrong? Yeah. And you literally said coaching. The coaching. It was so it's don't think that you guys are twisting my words, brother. Just say you misspoke. That's fine. Yeah. You can say that. But yeah. So that's just
Yeah,
good
we all
stuff.
saw it. Like
Yeah.
Charles Barkley when he said he's misquoted in his own book. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's hard. It's always funny when someone says they're misquoted and it's live recorded, and then a lot of people play it, and you're like, you weren't really misquoted.
No.
He
no,
said what
no.
he said.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, same spread, but two different teams. Cowboys take on the Cardinals in Arizona. Cowboys 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 43. Last 4 o'clock game of the day.
I'll surprise you. I'll go first. I'm taking Cardinals. Cardinals have shocked me that they're playing their first two games close. I thought the Cardinals completely trying to throw this thing away. I mean, there's no one there that you would wear their jersey that plays for the Cardinals. And yet the Cardinals, as much as it looks like they're trying to line this up to get Caleb Williams, have played their opponents really tough the first 2 weeks. I don't think the Cowboys cover. I think the Cowboys think this is an easy game and they don't cover.
I'm with Dave on this. One thing that really concerns me is Budda Baker is not going to be playing. He's by far their best player on defense. I'm with Dave, though. The Cardinals have been the biggest surprising team to me. Them and the Buccaneers, and they've looked pretty good in their 2 games. I think they cover, but the Cowboys win.
The head coach for the Cardinals kind of got dragged to start the year when he had that bad speech. So he turns out not a bad coach.
Yeah.
Sure. That being said, taking the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, at some point, water's wet. So that, in my opinion, so I don't think there's any way they get past the 30-yard line in the Cowboys defense. Another game that, by the way, this late window is god awful. Panthers, Seahawks, Bears, Chiefs, Cowboys, Cardinals. Go ahead, take a nap, and get ready for Sunday Night Football. You know
what Josh and I are doing during the late games? It's going to shock you. Josh and I are shooting up to the Bay Area this weekend. It's Josh's birthday tomorrow, by the way. And we're shooting up to the Bay Area because we want to see a different ballpark. So we're going to watch the Charger-Viking game. And then we're going to go see the Oakland A's take on the Detroit Tigers. Look at that.
Yeah.
Jealous?
Yeah, over under, we walk out of there with at least 2 foul balls, meaning that we just walk 200 yards to go pick up a ball because there's no one going to be there but us.
Dude, you're going to get great deals on drinks, I bet.
Who goes to an A's Tigers game? We do. The afternoon games are garbage. We're going.
How old are you turning, Josh?
19.
19. Let's go.
Yeah. Big year.
And then we're hitting
just over the legal limit. Yeah.
Hitting the San Francisco Giants the next day. How about that? We're getting 2 ballparks back to back.
Go. Yeah. That should be in the YouTube comments. Whoever can guess Josh's name. I mean, not name.
His
age first. Yeah. Gets.
I don't know.
Figure that part out.
What do you got left, man?
All right. Steelers, Raiders. Raiders are 2.5-point favorites against the Steelers.
Wow.
That's Sunday Night Football game. Last game of the day, obviously. What do you guys think?
It's I wouldn't bet this game at all. It's funny. I love, for my childhood, I know I'm older than you guys. There are certain teams when they line up on the TV and you're going, okay, that takes you back to your childhood and the uniforms just look better. I love the way the Raiders and Steelers look on TV. When those 2 uniforms and the history of those guys hating each other. Al Davis is rumored to have hated the Steelers more than any team in football through the time that he owned the Raiders. It was a pretty good matchup last year. I believe they played on Christmas Day. I knocked my mic over. They played on Christmas Day, and Steelers pulled it out. I think the Steelers pull it out again. I understand it's in Las Vegas, but I think the Steelers pull this game out.
I'm with Dave. I don't understand the line. I don't know why the Raiders are favored, frankly. I think the Steelers defense is the real deal. Minka Fitzpatrick's taking out ACL, so watch yourself.
Yeah.
I like the Steelers to cover.
3 for 3 Steelers. TJ Watt wins some games. Actually.
Dude, everyone's talking about, of course, Micah Parsons, how great he is, and we all say he's great. TJ Watt's still the best defensive player in the NFL. Am I right? I mean, he won that 100%. Game the other night by himself.
He does it all the time. If you ever watch
all
the
time,
he just takes over games with the guy that we want Joey Bosa to be.
You know what's funny is because I'm gonna pat myself on the back right here, or all of us, because none of you guys disagreed again. Is remember I said how Justin Herbert is the face of the Chargers and most quarterbacks are the face of the organization. I said almost every organization's that way except for the Steelers and TJ Watt. And then boom, we went up, put on a hell of a show on Monday. It made me look like a genius. There you go.
He's a freak. He's a freak.
He is a freak.
Freak. I. It's like it's almost sad. It's like if you guys had anything of an offense to help that poor guy, but he just literally wins you a whole game.
Overall, when he retires, there's an argument at the table. He wasn't even the best defensive player in his family.
Yeah.
Poor Derek Watt eats in the kitchen while everyone else sits at the big table. But as far as his two brothers go, they're insane.
Okay, are the Watts the best brothers besides the Mannings? Or are they better than Mannings?
No, because Mannings have so many Super Bowls.
But I think you're right. And all 4 will go to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, easy. But are the Watts better than the Mannings?
I agree with Mario on the Super Bowl thing. JJ kind of let everybody down.
We play on defense. I mean, what are you going to do?
It's kind of hard. I mean, Eli having 2 Super Bowls over Tom Brady is the funniest thing in NFL history.
It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
It's like the world fell off its axis twice. It's weird.
Yeah. Like you go back and just watch that guy in the regular season, and then you see him on the sidelines, and you go, wow, that's the guy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's like, it's like
that's the guy.
That's
the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy. It's like your ex-wife's new husband. You're like, that's the guy. Really?
Yeah,
it's like overweight. You're like, all right. I guess he performs in the 4th. All right.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, hell, every other quarterback's on the sideline with their iPad or whatever that is, the Windows version, and they're all looking at what else going on. You look over at Eli. He has crayons and a coloring book between the time the defense is on the field. All right.
Mouth wide open.
Later. Yeah. Like, you always look like with Eli, like someone make him cry, but no one ever did.
In New York, too.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Never missed a game until the coach blew it. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
It's weird. You would never think they would love him. They loved him.
Yeah.
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 Oh, well.
Just all you need is 2 good years, huh?
That's it.
That's all you need.
All right. Is that all of them? That all the games?
No, we had 2 left. I'm sorry. We'll burn through them. Eagles 4.5 against Bucks. At Bucks.
Go ahead, Josh.
Eagles to cover. I think the Bucks have played over their heads. The Eagles haven't proven how good they are. I like the Eagles to cover.
Exact reasons Josh said. I think the Eagles are capable of more, and I think the Bucks have played over their heads.
Eagles as well. This next line, by the way, has moved a lot. Rams, Bengals only 3-point favorites. This used to be at like a touchdown.
Rams. Going Rams on this one. I'm not sure what's happening to Burrow. Rams are playing better than I think people thought. By the way, even if you weren't a fan of the Rams, you have to be a McVay fan after what he did last Sunday against the Niners. It was so much fun because the NFL had to hate it. The NFL always wants to say gambling doesn't exist and we're going to wear lines. The NFL has made a deal with the devil when it comes to gambling. And we all know how big gambling is. Everyone knows it is. That's why the injury reports come out on Thursdays and they have to be correct. But for the Rams to go into that game against the Niners last week at SoFi, knowing it's technically a home game for the Rams to wear the road uniforms, let the 49ers wear their reds. The whole stadium's filled out in red. I mean, couldn't it look more like a 49er crowd like it always is? And then for McVay to hustle up, clock the ball, kick the field goal to anyone who bet on the Niners lost was genius. Loved it. It was one of my favorite things I've ever watched in football was for McVay to go, hey, we might have lost, but if you bet on the Niners, you lost. Stick it. Suck it. I loved it.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm with Dave. I like the Rams to cover. I'm assuming Joe Burrow's really, really hurt because he's thrown for 60 less yards than 2 or 3 against the Chargers. So I like the Rams to cover here. I think it's going to be a game that's a little bit boring. I think Sean McVay will do one thing we're going to talk about on our next show. Say, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, Rams. Sums up with Burrow. Who knows? But it's just Rams all day. Now the last game. Chargers, Vikings. Chargers started out as a favorite in this game. Now they're not a favorite. Now Vikings have the slight edge, like we mentioned earlier, at -1. Just favored by a point. What do you guys think? What happens in this matchup?
All right, this will be my game most likely to go to overtime. I'm picking this game. You too? You're going to do the same thing?
Yeah. Damn it.
I'm going to go. This game is my most likely to go to overtime. I asked you guys in the last show. I was going to bring it up on this show. I have both Herbert and Cousins on my fantasy football team. Which quarterback do you start? I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you who I'm going to start. I'm going to start Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins torches the secondary of the Chargers. At the same time, I think the Chargers win this game. The Chargers cover.
Yeah, I mean, you took my firepower, which really sucks. 2 weeks in a row. I like the Chargers to win overtime game of the week. If Austin Eckler was playing, though, I would say you should have started Justin Herbert, but he's probably not. So I agree with your decision.
I'm gonna take Chargers in this game. I think they can win. The thing I think that's going to be the most fun about this game is that the overs that sit at 54, and holy hell, I think that's going to just pop right over. I mean, it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be on the red zone constantly. It's just going to be so much scoring, so much action. Justin Jefferson is probably going to explode all over the Chargers defense. He's going to get anything he wants. He's going to literally be open on every single play. He leads the league in receptions. Leads the league in receiving yards. I expect that to continue. 101.5 is the over-under for him. I would smack that. I think he's going to go flying over. Take the over in the game as well. And I think the Chargers can win, but I would not bet on it. That being said, enjoy the game. Watch Justin Jefferson go off. And hopefully watch Chargers get a big win.
There we go. We'll be back on Sunday, of course, after the Charger-Viking game. Normally, we do a show like 5 minutes after the game is over. Josh and I have to watch the end of the Tigers-A's game, get back, and we'll do the show from the hotel. But we will have a show released on Sunday. So if you're curious to know what we have to say, we're curious to know what you have to say. That's why we appreciate the comments that you put on YouTube. And again, subscribe, as Mario always screams at you. That's the way it's going to go. We'll see if the Chargers can get in the win column, because if they don't get in the win column, it's going to go right to what I said a couple weeks ago, where you got to fire Staley. He doesn't make it as September. There's no way that you can keep him as your coach if you're 0-3. This team desperately needs a win, and that's just where they're at right now. So we'll talk to you on Sunday. Hopefully we're talking about a Charger win. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll talk to you next time.